Hey guys, and welcome to this unboxing and comparison review for the Transformers Legacy Leader class, Galvatron. Now, as many of you guys know, for the most part, this is supposed to be just a straight-up repaint of Galvatron as he appeared in Transformers Kingdom. However, he is in fact a variant. This figure is supposed to differ in regards to paint apps, that being that he no longer includes that ghastly battle damage that plagued the vast majority of the Transformers Siege figures, and made a rather bizarre return here with Galvatron in Transformers Kingdom. And I'm a sucker for variants. If there is a figure that has a slight alteration when in comparison to his previous counterpart, I'm definitely going to pick it up and of course review it here over on the channel. And I'm also really intrigued to see as to whether or not Hasbro have in fact fixed some of the quality control issues that the original Wave 2 Galvatron had in Kingdom, those being the reverse shoulders and of course quite loose hip joints. So we'll start off firstly by taking a very quick look here at the box art, and it looks fantastic. You can see an awesome image there of Galvatron in both robot mode as well as that space cannon mode, and as we just spin our attention here to the side, much like the Legacy bulkhead, once more some fantastic looking artwork there of Galvatron. As we spin our attention here to the back, the exact same promo images that we saw on the Kingdom box art, this time just missing some of those battle damage details. And here for this side, you can see we've got some of the other Decepticons that come packaged as part of Wave 1 for Legacy, those being Megatron, Dragstrip, Iguanus, Skywarp, and Kickback. So with all that being said, let's crack open this Legacy Galvatron and see whether or not he does in fact actually differ when in comparison to his original Kingdom release. And behold, Galvatron cracked open and out of the packaging, and of course, as many of us suspected, basically just a straight up reissue of the version that we saw packaged as part of Kingdom. Now, to be honest, should have this been the first version that we got originally? Yes, definitely. Of course, none of us asked for that battle damage. It plagued pretty much all of the Transformers War for Cybertron Siege figures, and then for some bizarre reason, made a return here with Galvatron. He was exclusively the only figure, I believe, from Transformers Kingdom to sport the battle damage. So was this Hasbro's plan all along? I'm going to go out and say yes, but nevertheless, we'll very quickly go over what are the differences here between this new Galvatron and of course the Kingdom offering. Well, besides the absence of battle damage, one thing which was a major noticeable difference upon cracking him out of the box is that the joints are so much tighter, which is quite surprising considering this is now the second run of this guy. You can see the face sculpt looks awesome as ever. The torso this time around is completely clean. Now, personally, I think Hasbro really missed an opportunity here to give us a much more toon accurate version of Galvatron. Had this been a slightly paler colour of purple, more along the lines of blue, I think this guy would have flew off shelves quite literally. And another thing worth mentioning is that yes, they have finally actually fixed the shoulders on this figure. Luckily, I was able to pick up a second version of Kingdom Galvatron which had the shoulder fix, but I know for the vast majority of those Kingdom releases, they all came with the shoulders inverted. So it's cool to see that here with the new Legacy version, these are fixed first time round. You can see the chest unit incredibly clean. We've once again got that Decepticon insignia, and another area of which also is different is the actual arm cannon. This no longer has that wicked orange fade, which, to be honest, am I sad it's gone? Not necessarily, but it was something that looked pretty awesome on the original version. You can see the thighs this time around are completely clean, as so are the forearms, and the same can also be said here for the shins. If anything, I absolutely hated that battle damage that we had here towards the base of the shin on the original version, so I'm definitely glad to see it absent on our new Legacy release. And even as we flip here to the back, it's an amazing figure. I've always regarded this Kingdom Galvatron mold as being potentially one of the best leader class figures we've ever seen, and I think it's no exception here with this brand new battle damage free Legacy version. Now, very quickly bringing in the original Kingdom offering, you can see straight off the bat it really is just the paint apps that differ. So here for the torso, it is now completely void of all of those strange markings. The same can also be said there for the forearms. And as we spin our attention here down to the lower section, you can also see here for the base of the foot. And as mentioned previously, the new Legacy version no longer has the orange fade at the tip of the cannon. Now, in regards to accessories, these two are completely unchanged. I personally would have loved to have seen perhaps the sidearm that Galvatron used throughout Season 3. I thought that would have been an awesome inclusion. But nevertheless, comparing the Matrix of Leadership, here is our new Legacy offering compared next to the Kingdom version. These are identical. If anything, the shade of plastic for the chain is a little darker here for our new Legacy offering, but honestly, it's very minor, and you can see in regards to the paint apps for the Matrix, it's identical. So just to prop this here over Legacy Galvatron, and then of course we do get a pair of those revenge ships, and much like the Matrix chain, it really is just a very slight difference in regards to the shade of plastic. The new versions are slightly lighter of a grey when in comparison here to the Kingdom offering. And for a very quick size comparison, here we have both of the Wave 1 Legacy Leader Class figures, that being G2 Laser Prime and Galvatron. So you can see he's definitely substantially bigger when in comparison here to Legacy G2 Laser Prime. I'd be really intrigued to know down in the comments comment section below, out of the two leader classes, or just kind of in Galvatron in general, will you in fact actually be adding this battle damaged free version to the collection, or are you more than happy with your Kingdom version? I do believe the paint apps on that Kingdom version are in fact actually quite easy to remove if you so choose. So personally, I don't really think this guy here is worth upwards of $50, but I guess it just kind of depends on the collector. Very quickly going over articulation for those who have perhaps not been able to pick this guy up. Here at the head, we do get a ball joint, which allows Galvatron to rotate the full 360, hinge up and down and to the side. Full rotation here at the shoulder, as well as an incredibly stiff hinge joint here out to the side. Full rotation here at the bicep, as well as a double joint at the elbow. Of course, that fantastic waist joint that we saw on the original release, incredibly stiff, and the same can also be said here for the hips. These are so much tighter, and they can also kick backwards, out to the sides, rotation at the thigh, as well as a 90-degree bend there at the knee. And then finally, of course, we do get the signature Wolf Cybertron Trilogy ankle rocker pivot. And just to very quickly show you guys how you can in fact actually combine a few of the weapons, here we have those two revenge ships, so you can combine them to create a larger, almost a gunship, which is actually pretty cool. And I guess Galvatron could use this as a sidearm, or here for bot mode, you can spin your attention here to the back. You'll notice we've got some tabs and some slots that will just find themselves pegging into just like so. And then we just prop the Matrix of Leadership over Galvatron's neck, and there we've got the complete leader class offering. So with all that being said, I'll get Galvatron fully transformed up into the space cannon mode, and of course we'll also check out the differences there. And here we have Galvatron fully transformed up into his awesome Space Cannon tank mode. And much like Robot mode, to be honest, especially here for the Alt mode, the changes are even more subtle. So upon first glance, it does appear to basically be identical to the Kingdom version, and that's because mold-wise it is. It really is just some of those subtle differences, such as the absence of the battle damage here for the top of the shoulder, as well as some of that detailing that we of course had on the original version here for the shins. Other than that, this is a complete clean rendition of the figure, and as mentioned previously, really is the Galvatron that I think we should have seen from the offset. You can see as far as the design is concerned, it looks awesome, incredibly animation accurate. I've always been a huge fan of the alt mode that they gave Galvatron here for his Kingdom release, and of course now here for the Legacy rendition, and this is just as well done, if not better, than that original Kingdom version. So you can see it can roll just as well, and we do in fact also have the ability to bring the Matrix of Leadership in and harness it over the front section of the barrel. Now for some comparisons, we'll very quickly bring out that Kingdom version, so you can see from a front-on perspective, to be honest, really not that many differences. The plastic is once again ever so slightly lighter here for our new Legacy version when in comparison there to the Kingdom offering, and you can see the battle damage is absent there on the collar piece, and the same can also be said here for the rear of the tank. And so, some final thoughts for the Transformers Legacy Leader Class Galvatron. I guess the major question will be, is this guy worth repurchasing? Is he worth the additional $50 to $60? And in all honesty, I'm going to say no, unless you happen not to own the original Kingdom version. Of course, if you already own that version, then the changes here are minimal. Besides perhaps the inclusion now of correctly assembled shoulders, the battle damage to me personally has never really made that much of a difference, and considering that it wasn't really completely coated on that original Kingdom release, I don't think this Legacy version truly stands out as being a distinctive variant. Of course, it does have that battle damage removed, but initially the battle damage for the most part was painted in purple, so to me just kind of blended into the overall design of Galvatron. I think as an actual figure itself, it's awesome, and for those that perhaps missed out on the original version due to them either perhaps not wanting to play almost Russian roulette with Hasbro's QC or down to terrible distribution, then this is a great opportunity to pick Galvatron up with a much better chance of receiving a greater copy. The joints on this guy feel a lot tighter when in comparison to his original rendition, and I know the shoulder fix is something that many of you guys were in fact actually hoping to finally see implemented here on our new Legacy offering. So with all that being said, I believe that just about wraps up my unboxing and comparison review here for the Legacy Galvatron. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. For those of you who perhaps already own the Kingdom version, is this a figure that you guys plan on adding to the collection, or are you more than happy with, of course, your original release? As always, I thank you guys all so much for watching, and until my next video, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.